What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the podcast. Episode 4 is finally here, with this time multiple guests, not just one, but multiple. And that is, we have the band Ozonic here, hailing all the way from the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, all the way out west. I actually only know the guitarist in the band, Sean. We had followed each other on Instagram a few years back due to our love of the same pop punk bands. So I didn't know too much about the other members of the band, so it was really fun getting to know the whole band and how much music means to them, what they're working on, meaning behind their name. There's so many things we talked about. I know it's a long episode, but stay tuned. They just released 2 new singles off their upcoming EP, which I'm very excited to hear. They're very talented musicians. I can't say enough good things about them. I can go on and on about it. But definitely check out their new EP when it comes out, which they talk about in the episode. But yeah, it was so fun having them on here. They were a blast to talk to. And, I hope you guys enjoy the episode. We are now. Okay.
All right. In these credits, we have Sean. This is him. Hi. Next to Sean is me, Ryan.
Next to Ryan and Sean is Colin. And we consist of Ozonic, or Ozonic consists of us.
Form Ozonic. Wing, wing, ding, wing, wing.
And here we go.
So. Yeah. It's going to be like that. So, y'all are a band. We've established that. Thank you for being on here as well.
Glad of course. Thanks for having us, man. Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, you're Ozonic, so you'll introduce yourselves already. So who does what in the band?
So I play guitar. It's so weird being with like 3, because I don't know if they're gonna tell who's talking, I guess, but I'm Sean. I play guitar. Yeah.
Next to Sean is Ryan again. I'm playing drums.
And on the right-hand side is Colin, and I sing and I do some light atmospheric keys as well.
Oh, man, I'd give yourself more credit than that. I don't think they're atmospheric. Like more of the melody keys, I'd say.
So yeah, some of them. It really depends on the song, but we do have like a full-time keyboardist. So basically, when he's not doing something, I am.
At his convenience, when he gets here, he'll introduce himself.
He may or may not show up, but either way, he's here in spirit, and we love him.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's just like a ghost above us.
Yeah.
Tim the ghost.
Yeah.
So I honestly only really know Sean. I don't know the rest of you too well, to be honest. But me and Sean, I think you followed me a while ago on like Instagram.
Yeah, it's been a few years.
It's been a bit. So I found out about all of you, the band, through Sean. And I think it goes off of like me and Sean's like taste in music too. How I've seen that within like Ozonic too. Like you take like your pop punk style to like grunge, electronic, all of that. I think that's interesting. But I know Sean is from, he said Colorado, right?
Yeah.
So are you all from Colorado?
Yeah, I mean, I've lived here for like 20 years, but I was born in like Dallas, Fort Worth, and then moved here in like 2000. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was born in Glendale, California, as was our bassist, who's also not here right now. But yeah, we moved out here. I think it was about somewhere in between 20-25 years ago. So I'm definitely a native of Colorado. I definitely like Colorado a lot better.
Never been out that way. How is it? I guess
you're out on the East Coast, right?
Yeah, I'm in Boston.
Oh God, yeah, it's like culture shock difference. Then, yeah, you're gonna come out here and you're gonna see all these mountains and like everyone actually has land,
Land? What is that? Mountains?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
wild.
Land?
Some would say we have too much land, too
Yeah.
much to go around.
Oh
A little
man,
too much freedom here in Colorado, if you ask me.
lots of hills and valleys and mountains and things.
Yeah,
A lot of potholes too. It's god awful.
It
Oh,
sucks.
same here.
Yeah.
You probably don't have
Yeah.
many Dunkin' Donuts as we have, though.
Oh, how many
Oh,
Dunkin'
yeah.
Donuts do you have?
Literally.
now,
About how many
the
Starbucks we have, that's how many Dunkins they have.
It's the
Literally,
Starbucks
there's a
of the East
street.
Coast.
There's a street near me, near where I live, that has Dunkin' Donuts. There's two of them on both sides of the street. So you go to
Are you
one,
kidding me?
and the other one's 5 minutes down the road on the other side of the street.
Oh my god,
man.
that makes me think of us. I remember hearing this one thing in Seattle where, like, if you just threw a dead cat, you'll find a Starbucks coffee shop. Why a dead cat?
What?
I don't know.
Are
I
you
guess it's
catapulting
just-
the
that's
dead
just how it
cat,
is.
or
It's so depressing in Seattle? That's just all they got, you know.
man?
Jeez.
I mean, I know their music scene is pretty awesome, but that's
Yeah.
about all. And I know it rains a
do
lot.
be
That's all I know.
Raining,
about
yeah.
Rain with a chance of rain.
Oh man.
Yeah, but Colorado's cool. It's it's nice and safe. We don't really get a lot of crazy natural disasters going on.
We get
Mhm.
fires, if anything.
Yeah, we get a lot of fires, but no tornadoes or hurricanes, of course.
Yeah, it's like
The mountains protect us
just
from
in the
that.
middle.
We got a
honestly.
shield.
We got a mountain shield.
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
God. I'll have to come out there at some
That's
point.
just how it is in
when,
Colorado,
You know.
Uh-oh, it didn't shut off, did it?
Oh wait, what is happening? I think it's cutting out
Okay.
the audio.
Maybe.
Never had this happen.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
We were worried
my
'cause we-
screensaver came on, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Did it
Yeah,
shut
like
off?
we weren't hurt.
Like, oh god, guys, we're tanking it hard. Ooh.
Might have to cut that out.
Yeah. Cool, but yeah, you're a very, very talented photographer.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I'd
Appreciate
say
that.
you're like one of my favorites ever.
Oh,
You just have this like cool style.
Can I see
Yeah,
your style on social media?
hmm
What style is this?
yeah.
called?
It's
I
time to
photograph-
promote yourself.
Aaron Crowley.
I don't know. For myself in my own podcast, I don't think so.
Yeah, man. Just do it, man. Let that ego shine.
God, I miss concerts.
Yeah.
Oh man, we do too. We do too. We miss the crud out
I
of
miss shooting
concerts.
them. Oh, I miss going to them.
Yeah.
I
Like-
miss seeing those drunk dudes just vomiting all over the floor, man. You know, like,
Those are our people.
they are our people, and god damn it, we love them, Sean.
Yeah. Music is like it's a distraction for all of us, and like not being able to play shows and still being surrounded by all this like just this negativity everywhere you look right now is really hard.
hmm
hmm
Absolutely. So it's like, especially not being able to play shows is just such a drag. Yeah, we were gonna play one later this month, but we decided just to cancel it because we really didn't want to. But we had like a lot of friends that aren't even really going out right now, so a lot of our fans wouldn't have been able to go. And then of course there's just the risks, and we just weren't sure. Like, we just in the end felt like it wasn't a good idea. So
I mean, yeah, like with all the COVID spreading around again with this whole fall season, it's like, who knows what's going to even happen now? So it's like,
mhm.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
just
it's
kind of a
like-
wait and see thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
no, that's crazy. Like we were used to seeing all these local bands just posting nonstop about shows, content, and it's the whole social media is just empty now. Like you might see like
Mhm.
one post here and there, but it's so weird to see. Like it makes me wonder, like, if some of these bands are even still around, or how are some of these venues even doing? Like I don't even know if that whole Save Our Stages thing even really did it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that that hashtag in a while, so it is a little bit worrisome. I hope it's still going strong.
Yeah. It's definitely troublesome for like the owners of like a lot of the small music venues too.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been in business. It's so tough.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah,
But
like I know Red Rocks is doing like small shows here and there, and I saw the Black
yeah.
Sheep had Get the Axe playing like for something.
So it was kind of cool. So there's this local band here called Get the Axe, and they're putting out an EP pretty soon. But instead of playing it at this local venue here, they had like a little party basically where they had like they decorated the place, and they played their EP over the loudspeakers for everybody. Um, so that was a pretty cool thing. We might do something in the near future like that too. It's kind of a cool alternative to shows. It definitely doesn't replace them, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
it's kind of like one of those, it's the best we can do with what we have right now kind of situations.
Until we just find that hella Skrilla to build up all the streaming, equipment. I don't know what we're gonna do in the meantime.
We just stumble upon that winning lotto number,
I mean, it was like that trip we had at Cripple Creek, so
Oh,
we won like a
yes.
battle of the bands last summer at
Mhm.
Cripple Creek, and so they gave us like $150 in voucher funds to go to their
Ooh.
slots and stuff. And I've never gambled, right? So I'm like hitting the slots, random bets. I'm like, yeah, let's do it, let's go. And I like won like $250 like just by farting around. It was a great time.
He pretty much did better than any of us.
Yeah. This dude over here won so much money, and I basically just flushed mine down the toilet.
I won 54 cents. I mean, that's
Sick.
54 more cents than what I had when I went in there.
That's money.
Yeah.
I'd be so bad at gambling.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really know how to be good at it. Like, I know there's tricks with the machines and stuff like that, but
Like
I don't
breaking
know.
them open and stealing.
Yeah. That's a big one. That's a big one that
strategy.
Yeah.
whack them with a shovel and
Oh my god.
money oozes out.
Well, I mean, I picked up like 2 new jobs, and I'm like hustling 50 hours a week now. Hopefully, I can start getting at least some drum mics.
Yeah.
Every day Ryan is hustling.
Hustling.
Hey, that's how you do it.
Every day I'm hustling.
We're gonna get like copyright infringement for that.
My podcast is gonna
Who
take
was
it
that?
down.
Was that Rick Ross with that song?
Was it? I don't even know
Thought
who
it was
did that.
LMFAO.
Was it?
No, that's every day.
Yeah.
Shuffle.
Yeah. They did like the spin off on that in that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That song, but anyway, I'm
Anyways,
sorry. I feel like we're
we're going-
taking over.
we're-
Do you
No,
have some
take
more
over.
questions?
It's
This is
my
Money
podcast,
Life.
like it's
You know,
about
it's how it is.
y'all. You can take over as much as you want.
But feel
I hate
free
to,
to
like-
butt in and
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
questions whenever you want.
I hate to be like, it's not like so to say like an interview. It's more like I like to have it's like a conversation. It's just
Yeah,
chill.
absolutely.
But
fun.
I do have like a sheet up of like things I usually like just ask people. But I hate to do it as like it changes by guest. But I hate to do it in like a way that's just like, oh, like here's like your generic band questions, like what does
Oh,
your
yeah.
name mean, and like you.
Oh,
But
What
I mean,
are you?
the people that listen to this don't know you, so maybe it's good to like they want to know that information, like how'd you get started, or like
Give them a little taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin can answer this one.
It all started in the early 1900s. I'm just kidding.
In the 20th century, 21st maybe.
So basically this band, Ozonic, we started, the core band started about 5 years ago. I had a solo electronica project called the Epic Weatherman. It was really weird, like kind of eccentric theatrical stuff. I would just do, I would record all the backing tracks, and then I'd go do live performances where I would sing / perform along with them. Like I'd do weird choreographed stuff. And like, I always tried to kind of make it story themed and really bizarre. And I did that for a while. And then I just kind of started realizing like, man, I want this project to go somewhere else. I kind of got tired of it just being me. Like I wanted to have a band around me. And I had been in a few other bands before that never really took off. And they were all like, in retrospect, I'm glad that I was in all of them. Like I was in a pop punk band for a while that I had a lot of fun with. I was in an alternative rock band that I had a lot of fun with. So I had experience with all these projects, but just none of them for one reason or another. None of them clicked. So I was like, I'm going to start a band of my own. Um,
And it was
so,
fun.
and it was fun. So yeah, I put together this group of, there were 7 of us. This band started off as 7 musicians. There were 3 guitarists, and it was cool at first. Like, it was a lot of fun. It felt good, but just it was chaotic. There was
Probably the same drama that Slipknot has, like every single day.
I can only imagine how many members does Slipknot
I
even
believe
have.
they've got
Like
8?
9?
They have
9?
9, yeah.
Oh, God,
they have
yeah.
like a turntablist. They have the washboard guy. They
God.
got the dude hitting the kegs, like doing the
Whatever.
percussion stuff, and then of course guitar, bass,
Of course, the banjo
drums,
player,
singer.
banjo
Yeah,
player in
definitely.
Slipknot
I
is
mean,
just
they're from Iowa, right? So
Yeah. Also, sound guys hated us because
oh my
no.
god.
we'd show up and like when 4 of us were on stage, they're like, "This is it, right?" And then like 3 other guys would show up and they're like, "Oh,
Nah.
You have more? What?
yeah," and
Joke's
like
on you.
3 guitarists nonetheless. They were they were frustrated with us.
And the thing is too, like, we were pretty, I mean, I had a lot of I have like a vocal pedal I use a lot now, and now I know exactly like how to run it and how to use it and stuff. But back then, every show I would have to like ask my bandmates, like, okay, what do I do with this again? How do I hook this up again? And so, you have the added pressure of that. You have 7 band members that you have to mix and make sure not people aren't too loud or too quiet, but then you got people who don't even know their own equipment. So it's just we were a pain in the ass, but but we evolved from there. The cool thing is, literally every band member, we've gone through a few different bandmates, like a few drummers, a few guitarists, but and a bassist too that we used to have. But like, it's all the departures have all been is the word amicable, I think, right?
They've been
It was all, that's what's cool. Like, we've never had any hardships or anything with any of our band members. It's just people just kind of come in and out. But we've had the last 2 years, I think now it's like some 1.5 to 2 years, we've had the same core group, and it's we feel like we've really like hit something. We've kind of struck gold with who we have now. And there's just 5 of us now, so definitely not 7 anymore.
Sound gold.
We used to be called Weather Vane as well, because I wanted to keep I've always liked having kind of a weather-ish theme in my project names, because I've always the way like I've written music, and especially the way that like we have written music as a group, it's always been very fluctuating. Like, we'll write one song that sounds a bit more grungy, and then one that's a bit more synthy, and then it just kind of always, slow, fast tempo. They all fluctuate like the weather does. The weather in Colorado is so unpredictable, much like our music.
Yeah.
So.
I got a question for you, Colin. So, like,
Yeah, what's up?
if it's all weather, based in terms of like how you've come up with the names and your whole persona,
Yeah.
How did Ozonic then form as the name for the next part?
That was something, actually, I think Sean was the one who came up with it. Yeah, because we knew we wanted to change our band name. Now, this was about, I think, a year into us being a band is when we found out there was already another band called Weather Vane.
So there was another band called Weather Vane, I think in Ohio or something, and
Motherfucker.
and it got so out of hand that like our shows were getting advertised on like their Facebook page and vice versa, and like a venue used their logo on a flyer for a show that we had. So it was like, all right, one of us has to change, and I think they were already more like established and stuff. So I just thought Ozonic was cool because it's kind of like it's still weather-ish. It's like the ozone layer sort of, and like we do have a lot of airy sort of synths and stuff in our songs, so it's kind of like this soaring, I guess, feel. I don't know. That's
very
why
atmospheric.
Very much like the ozone layer. We're deteriorating it, and we're tearing it up good. We're polluting the ozone layer with our fat beats.
On your gravestone.
I should let everyone know, Ryan here, that I drank in a bang before coming to this podcast. So.
He's extra
He's
energetic.
Sponsored by Bang.
They sponsor the podcast. No, just kidding.
Juicy juice, 100% juice. Anyway,
This is made possible with viewers like you.
I don't even know where to go from that.
I don't either, man.
I mean, I know at this point in our history of Ozonic, I still haven't joined the scene just yet. So you were like at Weathervane with 7 of us coming and going. And all that.
Yes. It was insane. Yeah. And we definitely had a heavier, I would say we used to have a bit more rock, like
more of an analog sound, I guess.
It's hard to say. Yeah. Just kind of more like dirty.
How would you like to describe, like, I guess, your music?
So, when I first joined the group, this was about almost 2 years ago now. Like, you know, Colin hit me up on Facebook. I just got done playing and touring with this other local group here, and I was, you know, just kind of doing my own thing, teaching lessons and just, you know, whatever. And then Colin hit me up, and I learned their EP in 3 days. Came in, slayed it clearly.
A little bit of a flex, but but it's true.
Ladies.
It's not a false flex.
No.
It's a very true. Your flex
is
true.
One of those Trump flexes. This is, you know,
this is like legit, man.
Yeah. But when I was first listening to their stuff, like I've never heard the group or anything prior to the, I guess, audition, if you will. And when I was listening to it, to me, right off the bat, it sounded a lot like Japanese rock that you'd hear in like a lot of anime intros and outros. And so it had that very rock synth kind of sound to it. And the phrasing itself would always jump back and forth between these like very high energy sections, very, emotional verses. And I was just like, wow, this is so addictive to just listen to.
We're post emo.
Yes. But now, like, and we're just this huge, like, oh, hey, it's Tim. Speak of the devil.
Our keyboardist is about to join us.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, like the eclectic of our music, it varies all over the place. Like how you kind of mentioned earlier, Sean's pop punk kind of background. Colin's done a lot of theatrical stuff, rock, pop punk as well. And then I've been doing the drum stuff for like 18 years, doing like mostly, rock, metal, and jazz throughout my college years. So I'm always listening to the weird stuff out of the rest of everyone else, I guess.
You and I both, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get on in here, Tim. I won't bite.
Get in here. Join the podcast.
Tim's gonna have a seat with us.
You got to get kind of intimate with the microphone.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
And 6 feet too, Tim. I mean,
it's 6 feet.
Yeah. 6 feet, man.
6 feet or 6 feet deep. You choose.
Tim, say hi.
Hello. Hi.
What's up, Tim?
Nothing. Just had to get ready for work.
The funny thing is right, like we're all like talking to these microphones, but we're all looking at the speaker you're coming out of. So, we're just like talking to a speaker. It's great.
Yeah.
It's like a Star Wars droid or something.
I'm looking at my computer screen.
But yeah, that's kind of it's cool because like Ryan did come into this like after like the initial sort of EP was done. So I kind of like go off of his like perspective, I guess, on our sound, because he was like he was new to it. He was a listener before he was in the band, because like we all of us struggle to kind of explain what our genre is, I guess, because we all do have different influences. I just say like electronic alternative music, because it's just too much to explain.
Someone called us granola metal once, which really confused me.
Granola
metal. Yeah.
We're just that organic metal.
Because we're kind of heavy.
Is it like that, like Nature Valley granola? That just goes everywhere.
Nature Valley metal.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Hidden Valley granola. It's like granola covered in ranch.
Oh my god.
It sounds terrible.
It was ranch and granola. Oh my god.
Yeah, like.
But that's the name of our group chat on Facebook. It's My Granola Metal Band.
That's fun.
It's been that forever.
Granola ranch. I'll try that.
Granola ranch.
No, I won't. No,
Oh,
I won't.
We've
granola
been raising
ranch.
this granola for about a 1-4 score now.
Oh my goodness. Anyways,
Oh my
that's
God.
that.
Yeah.
So, hit us with another question.
And I guess this is a good part to say, like if you really want the best representation of our music, fellow listeners, just, check us out on Ozonic Band through Instagram, Facebook. You can find us there. And like, we have an EP coming out, and I think that's a pretty good place to start next,
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that you released the new singles to that, which those pop off.
Oh, you like them?
Of course I do.
Glad you like them.
No, I hate them. They're awful. Get off my podcast.
My mom told me she really likes like and sub, so I think
we're going somewhere good.
Yeah, that's gonna be our next music videos for that song.
Yeah, we're working on it right now. We're in the process of filming, and we're doing it ourselves without a director or anything. It's all DIY, so it's pretty tricky. It's taken a bit. There's a lot of learning to do with making a music video. So we're jumping through some hoops and stuff with it, but ultimately we're having a lot of fun with it and coming up with some neat concepts and stuff. So we're excited to get that all done.
I feel like a lot of bands now, we've done like the whole DIY thing with the music videos, and it's been interesting to see.
Yeah, like I guess
it.
if there's anything out of this pandemic that's positive, is it's just making a lot of bands in general focus more on like a lot of the unspoken parts of being in a band, which is you have to promote yourself through that social media and really trying to build that connection with your audience, which I think a lot of local bands tend to really forget about because we're not in that past kind of music scene of the 80s where you didn't have the internet to really vault your listening. And so I think in today's age it requires a lot of knowledge of different platforms just to even really get yourself through the I guess the vast ocean of music that there is nowadays. But we've learned a lot of how to edit and the even just photography stuff, learning like angles, lighting and this and that, and then working with new equipment. Like it's really cool, honestly. Like, and it's something I'm sure we've been putting off for honestly too long, but you got to start it someday, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing to like learn all the different aspects of like what goes into like being a band, and like even on the like art side of it too, with like music videos and directing, art direction, all that. It's good to like know how to do all that stuff in case like you don't have anybody to do any of that.
Exactly.
Or the money, God. It's
or
so
the budget.
expensive.
I know. Yeah, like to get the really good to get the stuff the pros use. Yeah, it's pretty expensive. So anytime you can cut corners but still make something that's really good quality, that's like it's what you just gotta do.
Yeah. It's all about being creative in this time.
Yeah.
Going off of that too. Where was I at? Oh yeah, so you said something about your new EP. Do you have a name for that yet? Or it's just gonna be like a self-titled?
Yep. It is going to be self-titled.
Yeah, it'll be self-titled.
Sorry, we all looked at each other to see who's got this one? Who's got this one?
Yeah,
Alright,
it's
nice,
gonna be
yeah.
self-titled because we feel like it's a good representation of what the band is. Like, there's 5 songs on it, but none of them sound remotely the same. I mean, you can tell from Like and Sub and Electric Blood already that like they're 2 very different styles.
Yeah.
5 of us, 5 different songs. We all look very different. So I mean, we're just kind of going with the flow on that one.
Exactly.
I like that approach. 5 different genres.
Fucking diverse as hell in this band.
Hell yeah. Um, we love to see it. But yeah, I'm excited for the new EP.
Thank
Have
you.
any? Is it coming out this year or next year? If you can say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's kind of complicated. So it's been in the works for a very long time. And we had these grand plans to release it back in March. It was, or not March. It was done in May. So it was going to be like a EP release around May, but this was like before it was done. So like
Mhm.
when March came and all of like the world fell apart,
Yeah.
When Fire Nation attacked, really.
Yeah.
When the Fire Nation attacked.
We kind of had to pivot and kind of release these singles. We were gonna do one single and then I think just release the EP, but now we've done 2 singles now. We might potentially do a third and then release it. But we're just kind of dragging out the content as much as we can to try to get through all of this instead of just putting it out there and then we don't really have anything left.
Just go silent.
Yeah.
So we're kind of just building more hype for it. We want to do a proper EP release show whenever shows can happen again, but it probably won't be for quite some time. So we just have to be patient.
Exactly.
I mean,
You're
you
thinking
know,
like doing like a virtual show.
yeah, and that's one thing we've definitely tried talking about too. And of course, that was kind of going back to, trying to get the equipment to even start streaming would be great too. But I know the Will Kennedy, he's helping us edit the video and did some videography for us for the video. He was talking to us. The public library out here actually has this studio called 21C where you can rent out like their 4K cameras. They even have an entire like audio studio and green screens and stuff. You can like set up an entire streaming front like for free essentially at the library.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and like all you have to do is just go in, get certified to use the equipment, like, and then you just sign it out and schedule it. Like I think you need at least a couple months in advance for the nicer equipment. But I mean, I guess the only reason we haven't been doing that is I believe the studio is still closed for the pandemic. So like hopefully things can start going normal, and that would be at least an option for until we build up the equipment to do it ourselves. But
Yeah. Definitely. That's a good outlet though. I mean it's probably things around here, but I just don't look into it. But that's a good outlet though. Being able to like rent just a space to like do all of that.
yeah, and then God, with acoustics on everything, you don't want to like do it in a really crappy room either, and then it just sounds like you're like the flux capacitor, if you guys remember that place.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, like it was a really great local venue we had that was around for a little bit called the Flux Capacitor, and it was really great. They brought in a lot of awesome talent and stuff. They let a lot of local bands play that were like just getting started, just getting on their feet, so it gave them like a great opportunity. But just there wasn't any insulation. It was really like kind of a hole in the wall. So like the sound would just bounce like crazy off the
was like
walls.
a cement
so you
cube.
hit cymbals and it was like, oh man. And that's like all you could hear. So
yeah, think about the first level of Guitar Hero, and that's what that place was.
No.
Precisely.
Yeah, and then due to like health code, I don't know if it was like health code or building code violations.
It was building codes. It was I don't know if you remember, but there's an artist community that burned down from a fire. Like, well,
Oh
I mean,
my
I don't know what
God.
else he burned down from, but burned down
Yikes.
and killed a bunch of people, and it was because it wasn't
Oh
up to
no.
code. So they went through and shut down a bunch of communities like that, and the Flux Capacitor was one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
So to reiterate that, no one died at the flux capacitor.
No,
Right.
no.
As far as we know.
Like
Okay.
As far as we know.
I was nervous.
Nobody was fluxed.
We go hard in college.
Okay.
I don't even know.
Go hard, but not too hard.
Oh man.
Oh my
I forgot
man.
what we were even talking about.
Yeah, I know. This is what happens, man.
I did too. What were we talking about?
We're We're talking about sound and
No, we were talking
DIY
about
stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about doing DIY and the
Oh yeah.
it has definitely been a learning curve, but like Ryan said, it's been pretty fun to try to like figure stuff out ourselves and make the best of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm all about DIY for like everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you can do it, it's like it's a must.
Yeah. I also think you mentioned too, like getting the equipment to like stream, like a good platform to do that on. From I think my experience, I don't really do music too much like y'all do, but I'm not in a band or anything. I just do it like on the side. But I've watched people like on Twitch that
Oh
do like
yeah,
music, and
that's
like that's a
actually
good place.
that's one of the top like 5 channels right now on Twitch is music. So
Yeah, it's
Music,
amazing
yeah.
what Twitch has become. Like it used to be literally just a gaming platform, and now it's
No,
like
it's everything.
I've got chat
it's
meetings, live
Yeah.
shows and everything. It's insane.
It's really cool.
But I'm like,
yeah.
the one thing I've always thought about Twitch is like, so I'm assuming just like with Facebook and Instagram, like the only way you're really gonna get your name recognized through Twitch is probably through, I'm assuming, purchased marketing or something like that to get popped up on people's feeds. Because that's one thing I've always thought about. I'm like, so how do these local acts develop enough, I guess, traffic in their channels without,
that's the trickiest thing about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that's probably the struggle of anything local business, local band, etc. Is like how do you really get yourself off the ground without investing hundreds of thousands of dollars either in like a manager or marketing in general? So.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like you don't want to go that route because it's just like you don't want to waste all the money, and then like even with that, it won't even like you don't know if it's gonna like work out in that sense.
Yeah, like there's no stats to really go off of. Like, oh yeah, this definitely works. Look at this fucking band.
Yeah, because different. It's one of those things where really like there's no, as they say, there's no like one size fits all kind of like thing to like road to success. Like any band you talk to, chances are everyone did a different thing. There's some bands that I've tried to get advice from a lot of bands we've played with, like touring bands or
just more well-established ones, I
guess.
guess.
Yeah. Ones more experienced bands, and there are some bands that say like just play as many shows as you can, and then there's some that are like, oh, just bug people on Facebook, like everybody has a different like style, and I guess just some things work for some people, some don't. So.
I think if there's one thing I'm noticing just in general, like I've gotten the most, like I remember when we were doing that Battle of the Bands for Sunshine, right? Like I sold like 60 tickets one time.
Yes,
for that. And if there's one thing I've learned is like I think the best route that I've seen for just in general with any of our shows has been you have to go to them in person and talk to them directly. Like if it's ever on Facebook, I feel like you just brush it off. You're like, oh, I might make it, or insert excuse, not going to make it kind of thing, or they just brush it off because they just see it as like litter in their feed.
Yeah, because it's so easy to miss notifications too. I mean, when you have notifications for like everything, for so many apps and games and stuff, it is very easy to. I know I've accidentally missed a lot of things, a lot of events I wanted to attend just because it's so cluttered, So it's really like that was the way to go for a while, but then it just, as all the good things do, they get oversaturated. So then you got to kind of forge your own new way,
find a new marketing scheme, if you will.
Social media is both awful and good at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
A blessing and a curse. I like to call it a blurse.
A blurse.
Blurse. Put that in the dictionary.
Yes.
You can't drop the title of our next song like that, right?
Oh,
our next album is just going to be called Ryanism. I just come up with puns nonstop.
So does Tim.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Seriously.
That might be the way. Market that one.
Running around with Ryan and Tim.
And Ozonic at the speed of sound.
But it really is all about the word of mouth, more than like social media. Especially like with me too, in like photography and in like the music industry with bands and stuff, because I've never really worked directly with a band yet. I've got like shows that like I get from like publicists. but it's just like even like I started to do like local bands that I know, which I don't know a ton actually, which is surprising. Um, but I usually do by like word of mouth, like, oh, like do you have like any friends that have like a band, and then they want like any photos taken of them or any promo shots or album shots or whatever. I'm like, all right,
And I'm
just
I'm
word
pretty
of mouth.
sure photography is pretty similar to local music scene in that sense, where
Yeah.
I'm sure there's so much competition, that you're trying to fight through, and then also just trying to find that foothold to really get the name out there and what you're all about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all about networking with both of them, definitely.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I think if anything, what we're really learning is like whether like anywhere you are in the arts, it's really like almost 20% of it is your craft and 80% of it is your social networking, your marketing, your just overall personality. It's like you're selling a lot more than just the art itself. That's almost just like a little ooh sizzle.
Yeah, exactly.
Spicy.
Like the fajitas, get that spray some water on it.
Get some Febreze out. I don't know. If it's any
Febreze
sense.
steak. That's the best flavor.
That's actually a pretty good analogy because the fajita is the stuff on the fajita is the stuff on the plate, and the sizzle is the sound that the stuff on the plate makes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
we
almost-
are the sizzle.
no,
Oh, wait.
music is the sizzle.
Oh, the music is the
Puns?
sizzle. We are the fajita.
Ozonic is the meat.
We're
Yeah.
we're the we're the meat.
Oh my god.
Oh god, this is gonna derail fast.
No, I love derailment. It's so much fun.
Well, I'll be the
Conversations here will go everywhere. Like I remember last week, week before my other episode, we went from like, and one of my friends on here that does photography too, and we went from talking about like photography to talking about like to Firework by Katy Perry and how the line she says in it, like do you ever feel like a plastic bag? And I was like, that hits.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? I
It's
used to
so
randomly
hits,
ask
10
people
years
that.
later.
Well, right? It's
I-
like from the interview with Seth Rogen and all that, like with Kim Jong Un exploding to that song.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no. But yeah, where do you even go from that?
So what's your favorite fajita?
You've heard Ozonic. Now we
Oh no.
now we want to hear you. Oh jeez.
Turned into my question part of the podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Mexican food too spicy?
What's your favorite Febreze scent? I don't know.
I gotta just go with that Hawaiian breeze.
Ooh, actually, yeah.
How about fresh linens?
Actually, yeah, that one slaps.
So I always think about that. It's like there's a candle that they sell at Bath and Body Works that's called like
Ooh.
Endless Weekend or something, and I'm like, what does an endless weekend smell like? Also, it probably
Oh,
smells
no.
horrible. It
It's
probably
probably
smells
awful.
Funny.
like booze and like puke.
Well, it's got to be so subjective, right? Like, how's everyone's weekend like all like averaged and like statistically put together to create like this is the scent of the weekend?
It smells pretty bomb though. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, because
There's
you'd
one-
prefer, if it's an endless weekend, you'd prefer it with somebody who like does a lot of like barbecue grilling and not like a hoarder. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to smell a hoarder's endless weekend because
Yeah.
like
Or like a wrestling tournament endless weekend.
Oh no.
Or band camp.
Yeah.
Band
Oh god.
band camp.
Maybe unless you're like in the band camp and you guys are like raging and the hormones, things might happen, but but then the endless hormones too. So in the end, it's just not a good thing.
No.
The endless hormones. That's a good band name right there. If anybody
Yeah,
want to
that's
pick
gonna-
that up.
We're just gonna
Front
have to
page.
like lose 10 years of our life, like revert back a little bit, and then start from high school.
Just straight.
I think it was like a candle I saw somewhere. Like go back to the weird candle names for like scents. There was one. I think I have it still. It's called flannel. It's like, how's a flannel smell?
What does flannel
Does it
smell
have like a wood scent to it, I guess?
Yeah, is it pine?
No, it's like citrusy.
What?
Whoa.
Citrusy.
I don't think flannel and citrus.
It
Hmm.
doesn't hit.
So it doesn't slap.
That doesn't sound lit to me.
The flannel candle doesn't slap.
Candle.
Quote of the day.
I mean, let's be honest, right? Like the best candles are the wood wicks. You know, you get that little crackle,
Oh heck yeah!
Oh, those are
like
oh
logs
my
on the
God.
fire.
I love that, especially during winter. Yeah,
That is like
those are so cool.
back when I lived in Black Forest. Like that's probably the one thing I miss. Like in our house, we had like a wood burning oven or like stove. You know,
yeah.
we just throw logs in to like heat up our whole house in the winter. And you know, out where I lived, like where the trees like separated to like the plains.
Yeah.
You get like 6-7 foot snow drifts, and you get like stuck inside your house for like 3 days. So you know, you're just stuck in there the whole time. You know, just putting logs in the fire, getting that cabin fever.
That's a good time.
Colorado.
What did you say?
That was a good time, honestly. Sounds like a good time.
Oh yeah.
I've lived a very what is it? What's the word I'm thinking of? Privileged, you know, lifestyle. I guess.
You've lived a very ozonic life.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are we privileged? Is that ozonic?
Yeah. Yes. Ozonic. We are no.
Oh
my God.
No.
Oh my God. You
Gotta cut that.
Before we derail, I was just gonna say, yeah. Hit us with another good old question or something.
Well, we can get into like the deep part of it. We can get deep in this.
Let's get Mariana's Trench deep.
The band?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is a band,
Love
isn't
that.
it?
Yeah.
I think there's a song called that by August Burns Red.
August Burns Red. Yep.
But yeah. Going off of that to Mariana's Trench Deep, these are like a few questions I ask everybody because like the main like point of my podcast, like the snapshots from life, are like, oh, let's talk about like, you know, moments from life and you know what they taught us and you know.
Your thing, man.
Deep.
But yeah, so I had, I guess if you could think if there is one, or I guess multiple ones, or just one, a moment in anyone's life, it can be collectively or all of yours, whoever wants to answer, that has either shaped you, or the band, I guess you can answer as a band, or has taught you a lot.
It's a good question.
We all go.
It's a thinker.
We could go down the line, I guess.
Yeah.
Colin can start.
Yeah.
Be cool with that. Sure.
Sick.
Okay, so a moment or series of moments that help. I would have to say for me personally, like there was a show that I played as the Epic Weatherman, like a solo show way back. That I it was literally my worst show, but for a lot of reasons. I didn't rehearse well enough for it. Like I literally forgot some of my lyrics on stage. It was just really embarrassing. And there were just so much went wrong. Like I had technical difficulties. Because as I was explaining earlier, like I used to record my own backing tracks and stuff, and I basically perform along with them. And I did a lot of stereo effects with them. So I did a lot of stuff that would, a lot of stuff that went between the left and right speakers. But for some reason, like it was only going mono for like this show that I did. And so a lot of like the really cool effects that I had on there that like bolstered the sound and that made the song sound cool, like were just gone. And so it was just, so that was kind of making me flustered, and just, it was basically almost everything that could go wrong did. I think I even like tripped over the mic cord or something like that. Like just ridiculous stuff. But that, oddly enough, like I went home and I was pretty irritated and just, was not having a good time. But I still remember that show like so well. That like, that was, that was just kind of like a turning point for me. That was just where that was that moment where I messed up so bad that I was like, okay, I never want to feel what I'm feeling right now again. So I'm going to practice my butt off for like every show that I ever play. And I'm going to make sure that I'm much more prepared. And I started getting a lot more meticulous about things, you know, just like trying to make sure I didn't forget stuff, and you know, practicing song lyrics and stuff a lot, like a few days before, just making sure I had like everything drilled. And that's something I kind of take to this day, you know, as I really like working hard before every performance and just making sure that everything's like, you know, the best that it can be, because it's like everybody makes mistakes. I mean, that's an inevitable part of being an artist, musician, whatever, you know. You're gonna make mistakes and stuff, but it's like it's how you kind of respond from that. And that one show I had was like a very kind of eye-opening moment. I was like, do I want to feel this again? Hell no. So yeah, that's my thing, I guess.
Show me what you got, Tim.
Well, so one moment I think, especially in my music career, that has been a particularly like building moment for me. I was actually in college. I'm a classically trained percussionist. Actually, I don't know how I fell into playing keyboards,
I
but
can attest to this.
I had spent hours and hours and hours preparing this marimba solo for a recital. And I don't know if you've ever seen a marimba player, but like often they use 4 mallets, like, so 2 mallets in each hand. It's incredibly hard to control sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's something that I like. I'm a natural perfectionist. Like I don't like making mistakes, so I'll practice for hours and hours and hours on end. And this particular solo, I had been practicing, I mean, for weeks, to be honest. Got to the recital, got up on stage. I was super excited to play my piece. Got up there, played the entry, like I think it was like the first 8 bars, and I had a complete mind dump. Like every part of this solo left my mind, and there was this moment of panic where I was like, "What the fuck do I do?" I just kind of kept playing, making up this crazy piece. I don't remember any of it.
Oh my god, I actually remember that.
Yeah, I think Ryan was actually there because we were in college together.
Yeah, Tim and I. That's how I actually first met Tim before I even joined the band.
Yeah. I created this crazy piece on the spot, and I just kind of sold it like that was the actual thing. I got off stage, and I remember walking up to the piano teacher for the college, who's wonderful, very talented, but very intense woman. And she comes up to me and she's like, "Oh, Tim, you did so amazing. It was so great." And I'm like, I made up that entire thing. And she goes, "I know." And it was a big building moment for me, because like it kind of clicked in my head, like, you know, as much as you can prepare, like you can be absolutely perfect at something like a million times over, but you know, mistakes are still going to happen. And I just kind of had to learn how to roll with it. And I'd actually had similar incidents happen with Ozonic. There was one time where I completely forgot how to play the intro for a cover, and we had to skip it on stage.
Where was that at Barquet?
Barquet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Song was
but
hand clap?
Yeah,
I think it was hand
It
clap.
was hand clap. I forgot how to play the intro line for that, and it was really embarrassing. But I mean, again, I grew from it, and like it was a piece that I played a lot. But I mean, accidents happen, and sometimes you can't control that.
Farts sometimes,
So
it happens. But yeah.
All right.
Man, that's a good segue. It's a good segue for me, I guess, because yeah, like as Tim said, we both went to college together, and when I started playing marimba, so like I'm a self-taught drum set player, and so when I went to college, that was the first time I ever like took private lessons, learned music theory, how to even read music really to begin with, etc. And so I was doing a solo marimba piece, and I was like going through this one section, and same thing as Tim, I froze up completely and like could not remember any of the section. And but instead of, you know, winging it and coming up with a great solo, I got so mad I walked off stage and stopped playing altogether. So that was probably like
Oh
my
my God.
worst performance ever. And then after that, graduating, I joined the band before Ozonic, and we were touring for 2 straight weeks through like New Mexico, Arizona, and then back to Colorado Springs to open up for Corey Feldman and his Heavenly Angels. And so so that's a great story too. But essentially, you know, that was probably like the worst musical experience I ever had, being stuck in an F-150 with 2 guys who were so pessimistic and like just such a bummer to be around. It made me almost quit playing music altogether. And I've been playing for almost 18 years now. And you know, once I quit that group and went through all that struggle, that's when Colin found me, reached out, and I auditioned for these guys. And when we went back and won that Cripple of the Creek Battle of the Bands, outside of the money voucher stuff we got, we also won a trip to Vegas. And so we took my van, and yeah, we drove all the way to Vegas from Colorado Springs. It was about, you know, 12 hours there and back, give or take. And you know, I grew to love these guys so much because, you know, driving through with them, hanging out with them, and going back, like, I was like, wow, like, I can be around these guys for, you know, a long time, and I don't want to fucking kill myself, for lack of a better word. And like, you know, like it meant a lot to me because I didn't think I was ever going to go back into touring or even want to take that route again after what I had with that other group. So,
Yeah.
you know, you guys have been great for me, and you know, I've learned a lot of great moments being with this band, and you know, I'd say it's probably the best I've ever had.
Same.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Ryan.
Hell yeah, dude. Yes. Yeah, that's so important. That's awesome.
So I've had very similar experiences to these guys. In my very first band, I started playing guitar when I was about 14, and I started my first band a few years after that. And like I always like let my emotions show really bad on stage. Like if I messed up a note or something, I just like I'd face my back to the crowd. I'd just stand there. And like I would even like apologize like after the song was done. I'd be like, sorry guys, messed that up. And like I would do it like all the time. And it's like people say all the time, like, you're really like the only one that notices those things unless it's like super like obvious, you know. But like it took me a very, very long time to be comfortable with that. Like it wasn't like a one show I learned from it. It was like years of my musical career that I just like, I don't know, I would just beat myself up so bad after shows. And it hasn't been until recently that like that I've just learned to be cool with it. Like a few I don't know if it was the beginning of this year or last year, but we played a show and my guitar strap broke on stage. Like the screw that held the peg into the guitar to hold the strap, the screw itself snapped in half. And like it was just irreparable. And I like had to like sit down for the rest of the song until one of the guys from the other bands gave me his guitar to use for the rest of the set. But yeah, that was like I was just fine with it. I like laughed it off on stage. I was totally content with what happened. I didn't like let it show or anything. But yeah, like I think that was the moment where I realized like, wow, I'm not like upset about this anymore. Like cuz yeah, it was so bad back in the day, and my bandmates would hate me so much. They'd be like, "Dude, why did you apologize? Like, come on." Like
Nice.
yeah, I was like, I just wanted to let them know that that doesn't usually happen. And it's like I don't know. But yeah, I think what you can gather from all of this is we were all very self-conscious
Absolutely
about our performance.
We're all pretty much perfectionists.
Yeah.
We really care about our work.
Well, I think we've all gone through a lot of personal growth, honestly, like they don't really talk about this, unless you see in like, books, right, or documentaries, essentially. What's that, Tim?
Tim's got a scoot.
Yeah, speaking of work and everything, I actually have to go to work, so it was lovely chatting with you, but I will talk to you guys later. So,
Sounds
bye,
groovy.
Tim.
Work.
Bye, Tim. Looks like Tim's blasting
Bye.
up again. Ding.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
like
God.
we've all had a lot of personal growth, and I think that's really what makes or breaks a lot of people. Like if you're not able to overcome these obstacles that we're always going to face in life,
Mm-hmm.
you're never
Mhm.
really going to get to where you want to be. Like success is defined by your actions, right? So like. I mean, gosh, I used to do that all the time. Whenever I'd make mistakes, you'd always like you'd scoff or, like this and that. But yeah, like, I mean, it takes a lot of courage to be up on a stage. And I don't think a lot of people really realize that. Like,
Oh yeah.
like,
yeah.
I still get, goosebumps and I get nervous before every show. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. I still
It's
get
like-
the jitters.
Oh yeah, it's like I've never been like on stage. I mean, I guess I have, not like as a musician, unless we go back to like middle school and I played like one single snare drum. But I was also way in the back of the crowd. No one can see me because I was so short. But anyway,
That's the beauty of the percussion section. The music director's like talking to everybody else, and you're just back there, kind of just farting around. Like.
But yeah, we're like going off of all what you said, like we're like our own worst enemies, definitely. Especially artists, like artists alone are just like our own worst enemies. Like we always try to be perfect in what we do. I definitely would say I'm a perfectionist. Like even with the podcast, um, I like edit every episode until it like sounds like perfect to me, which I was like, nah, it's just edit it and then get it out there. But I keep going on and on. I'm just like, it needs to be perfect, it has to be good. And I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
We're all our own worst enemy when it comes to criticism.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's, I mean, if anything, that is I think it's both good and bad, because it's bad in the way that, like, you can only go so far, you can only make it so good, but it's also good because it shows you really actually like genuinely care about the job you do. And I feel like that sets a lot of people apart. I mean, there's some people who just play music for fun, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but they're not really as focused on getting everything exactly right. They're just like, I just want to play, and that's definitely not a bad thing. But then then there's perfectionists who really want to try to, like, get as good as you possibly can, not even just from a skill standpoint, but just just evolve, just evolution, and that takes
I feel like with art especially, it's like art is how you basically manifest like the truest manifestation of yourself in a physical form, and I feel like that you can give to people, and I feel like that's why people are so hard on themselves when it comes to art, because art is yourself,
Exactly. It's your expression, and it's like, if your expression is off, it almost feels like you just had a conversation where you were not able to get like a point across, that you wanted to. So it's kind of similar to that. So definitely agreed.
That's a good way to put it. I never thought about it like that. Damn. Insightful words of the night.
Ozonic, we get rowdy, but we got smart things.
We got past the ranch granola. Now we're getting
Ranch.
Granola for the mind.
Granola for the mind. Now we're actually like entering the hidden valley. We just talked about it before. Now we're actually like in there.
Have you guys ever wondered, like, do you think the Grand Canyon was formed by ranch down in there instead of water?
It was the hidden valley.
Hidden Valley is
why it's
the Grand
hidden.
Canyon.
All along.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
All the
sense.
burros, they went in there and took all the ranch from us.
I think it was aliens, though, honestly.
It's always the aliens.
It was Martians. Yeah, it was definitely
Always
Martians.
them.
Yeah.
First they throw in a
Blame
big
everything.
crater in Arizona, then they throw a big ass crack in Arizona. What are they gonna do next in that state?
What's next in Alienville?
Invasion? Maybe that's next.
Hopefully. I mean,
Phoenix is just gonna burst into fucking complete flames.
Basically, already almost there. So
Yeah, oh my God,
sheesh,
yeah.
no kidding.
I
no
went there
kidding.
like I think it was like 15 years ago, like on a family trip, doing the Grand Canyon thing, and we were in Phoenix to see my dad's friend, and like we went to Coopertown, like Alice Cooper's restaurant next to his like haunted house and
Mhm.
stuff, and like I think even back then it was like 120 in the summer, like just the pavement's so
Yuck.
hot you could crack an egg on it,
Hmm.
like so. I hate that state. Flagstaff's cool though. It's the Colorado of Arizona.
Yeah, my car almost burst into flames on my Arizona trip.
Ugh.
oh my god,
Yeah, it overheated quite a bit. But,
I
Albuquerque.
could not go out there. I hate hot weather.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. Cold
Oh,
weather's definitely my
And,
thing.
out here in the West, like when it gets hot, like it's just dry. There's nothing, so you're just getting scorched by the sun,
Yep.
like directly. So
Oof.
at least like most of my family's out in Florida. Like at least you had some like humidity in there to at least kind of make your tan look kind of normal.
Yeah.
Everyone out here we have the weirdest tan lines out here. Like
Mhm.
you'll get those farmers tans, you'll get t-shirt tans, and then like everyone has those really awkward like face tans.
or like watch tans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was hiking up we're next to that Pikes Peak, which I believe is America's mountain, right? Like I was going up there hiking through the backside of it, and like I think only within like 30 minutes my face got sunburnt because you're so close to the sun up at near 14,000 feet. You'll just roast instantly. It doesn't take much at all. I think we like
Nice.
took like the smallest nap, like right before the Devil's Playground, where all the rocks are loose from all the lightning strikes, and so like by the time we like woke up, our whole face is just torched.
Yeah, that beats our like 20 feet of snow when we get it in the winter here.
Oh God! Well, and it's
Ooh.
like you guys have all that humidity too, so it's just bone chilling
Oof.
cold, right?
Yeah. It's like we either have like really hot summers and like really cold winters, but like like right now when it's like fall to like winter, like the summer stays until like
Uh-oh. Did you get muted?
the summer stays to like October-ish now, and then it doesn't start to get cold until like late October. Like it's
Oh,
barely
I think it cut
changing now.
now.
It's still like 70s. I think they're recording on that again.
Oh
I think our
no.
internet took a crap.
Oh, there we go.
Oh. Oh yeah, we have you again.
Rip.
You might have to repeat that entire sentence.
Nice. Okay, I let that part out. Yeah, so like here we have like a bunch of snow in the winter, way too much sometimes.
Mhm.
I don't mind it, but like our summers are always just so hot and humid, and then like our winters are so cold. But then like the time from like September, like now from September to October, November, like it was hot in September. It's still like summer. Like the official start of fall is not like fall here. We
Mm.
have like an extended summer, and then it goes into like October, November is like fall, and then December, January, February, March, April is like winter.
I mean, that's
That's
about the
similar
same
to here.
honestly,
Yeah. I mean, we don't get as much snow as it sounds like you guys do, but
No.
but yeah, it's definitely it feels like the seasons are just like prolonged a little.
Yeah, like I mean, when I first moved here in 2000, that was probably like the coldest seasons like in history in Colorado.
Yeah.
Like I remember like I think we moved like in the Black Forest area, which is about 1,000 feet higher up than Colorado Springs, and it's like right next to it. It's weird, but
Mhm.
like we got there, and I think it was about Christmas Eve actually. Like we like started moving in and stuff, and then like we just got busted with this huge blizzard, and we got locked into our house for like 4 days with no power.
Yeah.
And we had some friends, I think either later that season or next winter, they came, and Blizzard 2 happened, and just as bad. And
Mhm.
we had so much drifts, like we had a trampoline out in our like backyard, and we turned it into an igloo. We just pack all the snow around it, and it was a pretty good time.
Yeah, that sounds really fun.
It was a blast. I honestly miss living out there.
Yeah, it's fun sometimes when I'm not like freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the cold. If I could move to Florida or something, I would. I hate it. I hate the cold so bad.
Yeah.
I guess I'm
Can't
just
relate.
needy, but I mean, like, I run hot naturally, so like for me, like this whole summer's just been awful.
Yeah.
Like, like half my body, sticking out of the sheets and blanket. My wife's trying to like cuddle up on me, and I'm like, get away!
Me too. That Californian blood, man. I'm like, when it gets cold, I'm like, yes, finally. But
Yeah, I have a lot of friends out west who I think prefer like the warmer weather because they're always there. And like I have a friend,
Mhm.
she is in Boston now. She's from California, but she goes to Berkeley, College
Ooh,
of Music.
Someone's got some money.
wow. Yeah.
Y'all know Berkeley.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dang. Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. Remember she was talking about she was actually on my first episode of my podcast. But shout out.
Awesome.
She was
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about she was talking about how like she's been used to like the California weather and
Hmm.
how like their first winter here was like so like different because like she's never been like really in snow like of that degree and how cold we get because we get like cold
Yeah.
Mm.
like the wind chills. Oh my god, like sometimes I just kind of hate it because like I've been here for like my whole life, so I'm like, ugh, how
Hmm.
much more do I have to deal with this?
Man, America's just got like I think out of every nation, I think we have the most like ridiculous like weather patterns because we're so like
Yeah.
wide and spanned out.
Yep.
Like you'll run across like every form of climate you can think of anywhere in like the northern hemisphere, I guess.
Oh,
technically,
yeah.
so.
Yeah. Hell, even here.
Yeah.
Even just in Colorado. Well, except for, we were just talking earlier about how we don't get, obviously we don't get hurricanes, tornadoes, stuff
We
like
do
that,
get the
but
occasional tornado. Like, if you go more
yeah,
out east, you'll probably run into them. But like back out in Black
exactly.
Forest, like we'd get some, but they'd like touch down, couldn't really hold their consistency. So,
Yeah, not enough to do any damage or anything.
yeah, nothing like that '90s movie, That
Yeah,
scared the shit out of me as a
Twister.
kid.
Dude,
Yeah.
tornadoes are my biggest fear on the planet.
Mine too. That's really weird. I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, no, that's my biggest.
That's our
my
next
absolute
song then.
biggest.
We got to conquer our
biggest
fears
fear.
here in Ozonic.
We gotta write.
Ooh.
Yeah, you gotta write a song about twisters, man.
Just think of twisters like the Pokemon move, Like it's not the strongest move, right?
It's
so
not.
tornadoes aren't that bad. They're only, come on.
It's like this.
And hurricanes are just wimpy ass tornadoes with water.
Wimpy.
Yes, tornadoes with water accessory.
It's like, hurricanes is just like, like God's just like, let's just get a shower going for all these people.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, good times.
This has gone everywhere. I love it.
Yeah, I'm glad you're having fun. I'm glad you're having a good time.
I'm glad you're having some fun taking this over. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
less talking I have to do. I love it.
Like I think God, me alone, I could talk to I could talk to a tree and it'd be engaging.
I'm the opposite. I don't know. I feel like if I didn't have these guys next to me, I'd be like, I don't know.
Not me.
I like bands.
I like turtles.
Bands are cool.
I do music. Oh my god. This is okay. Back to reality for a second.
Oh, there goes gravity.
Oh,
Sorry, yeah. What's your
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Every moment's got an Eminem moment.
So I asked this question to everyone, sometimes everybody. It depends what I have on, but
Mhm.
this goes well with you guys if you do music. You do the sing song thing.
You do the jingle jangle.
Mhm. But this one is kind of spicy, I guess, or maybe not.
Ooh. This is a pretty hot
Or
question.
it's a thinker basically.
Okay, all right.
So this is either one song, or I guess maybe one album. It can be one song, an album, or I guess an artist as a whole. So either of those choices, which one of those would like, if you were to think of like a certain song, album, or artist, and like a certain moment in your life, like what is one of those things, like for instance, like a song, like what song brings you back to like a moment, like in time? I guess is what I mean. It's like a weird word question, but
Gotcha.
like for me, it's like how I think of it is like, oh, like, well, this song I was thinking of, it brings me back. When I listen to it, it brings me back to like laying in the grass, like outside, and like it's springtime, and I can smell like the bonfires. I don't know,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
but something like that. Yeah.
I'll let let Sean start this one. I started the last round, so
so there's a song that it's by the Goo Goo Dolls, and it's called Long Way Down.
Mhm.
It I remember listening to that on a camping trip with my dad, and like it was like one of those like bonding moments where he like really wanted to show me like songs that that he was into, and he put that on, and when I hear that, it like definitely like transports me like back to his car. Like I could like smell like the gasoline, like, and that was in his car, like just like we're driving with the windows down, like in the mountains. It's definitely not like, it's not, the song isn't about like that at all, but it's just like you said, it just transports you back to that
Yeah.
to that time. Also Damned If I Do Ya, Damned If I Don't by All Time Low.
Yep.
That listening to that just totally brings me back to high school. My very first band covered that song for the talent show, and we won it. And like I could just like, yeah, when I hear that, I just I go back to that time as well. So those are my two.
I mean, gosh, man, the more I think about this question, the more I realize like music has just been like around me my entire life, no matter where I can think of. Like, if I can think as far back as I can, I started really engaging with music with these two cassettes I had. Like, my brother and I would like literally, we had these two that my parents had, and I don't know why we found them and had them, but we would just repeat like it was there were singles cassettes. So like the first one was Whip It by Devo. So like I don't know what it is, like Devo just has like one of those like effects on me where every time I listen to it I'm like, man, this like makes me think of my personality so much, where I'm just like this like wacky guy who's just like all about like just having fun most of the time whenever I'm doing things musically. And then the other cassette was I Want to Fly, both versions from Sugar Ray, like there, I can't remember who the featured artist was. Like, it was that reggae like kind of singer. He was all scatting through it the whole time.
What you want?
It's almost like Shaggy, like when that came out, that whole like, and then she caught me on the counter.
Wasn't me.
So like, man, I can just always think of music from those times, and I'm always like in my own head. So like when I go back and I hear Whip It, or I hear I Want to Fly, I'm back to when I was like 5 years old, like not trying to get too out there, but like I was always in my underwear whenever I got out of school. Like I hated wearing clothes. I hate it. So like I would get home and I would just like get into my like boxers.
That sounds like Colin.
I still hate wearing clothes.
Yeah, like down with underwear, up with I don't know. But like, and then of course, like I think we all had like that scene pop punk kind of time back in the 2000s, right? So like I'll listen to Panic at the Disco, My Chemical Romance, and I'm like thinking back to when I was skateboarding, wearing the tightest jeans, just like hanging out with my friends after school, just getting into like stupid shit. Like we were like, oh god, we would just get into trouble all the time, or like end up breaking things here and there, like just skateboarding. Got to find that next wave, that street wave.
Yep.
I'm still in the pop punk phase, but
I'm in the everything phase now. Like I'll listen to anything.
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 Any old
Anything.
Yeah, like I think it's this classical piece called "Memories of Hiroshima." It's just like 40 strings, just like.
Oh yeah. That's intense. That's
Yeah.
intense. That piece is terrifying. I've heard that. Ooh.
All right, Colin.
All right.
What song
Dish
takes
it
you
out.
through time?
Oh man. I feel like I have to name a couple for sure.
Mhm.
I don't have to go like too in depth on any of them.
Okay.
I but like I know I have definitely had a wide variety of influences growing up, like because my dad growing up listened to a lot of jazz and a lot of fusion stuff.
Oh
So a lot of really trippy, like out there. I feel like if it's the kind of music where nowadays it would be labeled as progressive, but back then it was just this whole new thing. Like, what the hell is this? You know, very weird stuff. But I remember I had my. This is totally not any of that related to any of that. But the song I had my first kiss to was "Love Fool" by the Cardigans. That's that one song that goes like love me,
Yeah.
say that you love me." And I know
Sad.
that band is like a one-hit wonder, but like every time I hear that song, I'm like, "Oh my god, I remember that." Like I remember exactly where I was. It was during a prom too, of
That
course.
song plays
Oh my
at
god.
Old Navy all the time.
I was at Old Navy. Does it?
Yeah.
It does.
Does it?
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so
Yeah,
like
I work
it's
at
so
Old Navy.
good.
That's why I
super.
brought
It's
that up.
super jazzy.
I
and just,
worked
like,
at Old Navy.
So there's that. There was my dad and I listened to a lot of music all the time. I remember. I don't know if you're familiar with the band Mars Volta at all.
No.
But they're insane. They're absolutely insane. But we had no clue who they were, and I remember there was this night where we just kind of went on a drive just for the hell of it. It wasn't for any purpose. Like we were just like, hey, let's drive and listen to music because my dad's had really good speakers in his car. And so he was like, hey, so my coworker lent me this album. I have no clue what it is. Let's listen to it. I was like, okay, awesome. And it was the album, if any listeners have heard the album, I think it's called Francis the Mute, um, by the Mars Volta. The first track just starts off really quiet and really pretty for like about the first minute. It's just almost this classical flamenco style guitar thing.
Oh yeah.
And then you turn it up because you're like, oh, it's too quiet. You turn it up, and just like out of nowhere, this huge like progressive like rhythm comes in, and it's just all funky and insane. And we were like, whoa, what is happening? And this they're the kind of band that do like 10 to 20-minute tracks, like where it's like there's movements, like it's not just your typical like A B C B
They
song,
were really something
but
else.
yeah, they're nuts. But anyway, so I always remember like it was an experience discovering that band because we just had no clue what to expect. And yeah, so that's it. Those are my two songs.
I love that.
Good times.
Yeah, man, like that's probably my favorite thing to do is just trying to find albums that like just really connect like
Oh yeah.
in your emotions at that time. Like one of my like favorite bands I just can never get enough of them is MGMT.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, like their first album, Miraculous Spectacular, I was like, Time to Pretend, Electric Feel, and stuff. Like, great album, but like, man, their Congratulations album is probably one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time. Like, they took that whole psychedelic route, and like, I don't know, like psychedelic music and rock in general has like had such a great influence on me, especially in like the last year. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Not even
I
doing
get
drugs
that.
to it or anything, Like,
Same.
it's just,
Same.
like, I've gotten
That's
so-
the thing.
I've
It's
gotten
just
so much creative ideas just from listening to it. And I think that's what's so cool about the style is that it's more about like how can we come up with these new sound textures and make the audience just feel like they're, on an experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's the cool thing about music is that all it takes is an idea or, a state of mind. And if you execute it, you can do anything with it. So
Absolutely.
Mhm. It's always interesting to hear different musicians. I watch a lot of interviews with like musicians too. Like some of my favorite ones and some ones I don't know. But it's interesting to hear like the different processes behind like them like writing a song or an album, and how some of them just like it's like, oh yeah, I wrote this like in my shower in like 10 minutes because I had this idea.
Yeah. Yes,
it's
and that does
crazy.
happen.
Like for me lately, like being a drummer, right? I like just bang things. I don't really know how to write songs, like but I've been listening to covers and actually sent my playlist to these guys to kind of look at. But like I've been having these like crazy ideas of just taking covers and completely rewriting them into something entirely unique. And one of the ones I really thought about this on recently was Space Oddity by David Bowie. So, that whole
Absolutely.
beginning, right? Like, Ground Control and Major Tom are kind of talking, but the idea that I was really thinking of with it was like, what if we turn that into like a more natural scene, like where Ground Control, talking to him in a more natural, realistic sense while we're playing more freely underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like kind of taking that whole section and making it just more like organic in that sense. And then coming in with this like really like different sounding like jam section for like, or like kind of bringing back that old reverted sections where we get like the dun 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 dun, things like that. You
You get
still
those
gotta,
claps in there.
yeah, like you got to keep the parts people idolize of the part, right? Like,
Yeah.
but I've just been really thinking of just taking songs and turning them on their heads, because I think that
Mm-hmm.
was probably the most fun I ever had when I was first learning songs. Is like,
Yeah.
what if we played, like there's this like cool cover on YouTube of like this like bluegrass band playing Thunderstruck by AC/DC that's like really
Right.
cool to watch. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I could arguably say you could make any song a bluegrass cover and it'll sound great every time. Like Mama by My Chemical Romance. Easy.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Easy bluegrass. Oh man.
Anything is just up for anything at this point. You can do anything with any song.
Yeah.
I think that's a testament to like what makes a good song. Like if you can
Mhm.
like I heard this, I think the lead singer of the All American Rejects said it, but he said a song is like a great song if it can be stripped all the way down to an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And you can still like just sit by a fire and play it. It doesn't have to have like all the bells and whistles, I guess.
Yeah.
Like behind it, it's like if it can be as pure as a guitar and a singer, it's a great song. So that's kind of what I live by. But
Totally makes sense. Yeah.
because I guess there always is like there are some songs that like they're written so specifically that you can't really change anything about them without really losing the effect of the song. And I think that's really kind of the beauty of a lot of the classic rock and all of that stuff before the music we're at now, is that a lot of classic rock back in the day was built off of jazz, which would follow this very set structure. And so when we hear all those old classic rock standards from like the 70s and even up to the 80s, that's why like all those solos are so present all the time. Is a lot of those guys were still jazz musicians dominantly throughout most of their career, so weaning off that jazz element and really starting to create more finite parts and stuff.
Yeah.
But,
like they knew how to make something simple, but then also bust out the, have the one guy that's like super skilled. And it's like,
and then like even with today's music, now that we have like so much more access to like synthesizers, keyboards, midis, and audio samples and things, like it's almost like it's getting harder and harder to really have that same effect. Like music's gone through, we almost don't think about it, but I'd say it really has gone through a big change in the last, I'd even say 20 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Electronic music in general is like, there's so many different styles of electronic now. I can't even say EDM anymore because, are you talking about house? You talking about dubstep? You talking about trap? You talking about,
there's so many like sub-genres,
like lo-fi is like the big thing now. So.
Exactly.
I feel like everything is just like a subgenre at this point. There's like indie pop, indie rock, pop punk. It's just
at the end of the day,
all
like
subgenres.
it's all rock technically.
Yeah. Granola metal.
Yeah, it's all granola metal.
Granola ranch. Metallic granola ranch.
Of just granola metal on like Spotify.
I love it. We need to curate a playlist.
But I would say like some of the best bands like are the ones that you can't really label their sound, and I think that's where we kind of come back into it, where like the one thing I've always had trouble with this group is, like Sean said earlier, is like really defining our sound. And I think like two bands that I can think of kind of within the same time period are kind of like that was the System of a Down. and the Deftones,
Mm,
where
absolutely.
they
Yeah.
had so much influence from so many different sounds that like it's really hard to really nail it on the head exactly what they are. Like
Mhm.
new metal, I guess, is what you would categorize them as because it was that early 2000s blend of metal with insert other style of music. But
Mhm,
you
mhm.
know, like I would say Deftones, like they'd have these like super like, you know, atmospheric, you know, songs that were all really hip hop groove based, and then they just have these crunchy guitar riffs out of nowhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, like,
Yeah,
Crunchy,
hard.
like granola.
yeah, like
Oh
Just
my
like
you're on
just like
it. See,
granola.
she,
There
she
we
got
go.
It all
Full
comes
circle.
back around.
new metal is really just granola metal.
Just we play granola music at this
Like
point.
Limp Bizkit, they definitely all eat granola.
Granola biscuits.
Yeah.
Limp granola biscuits. Anyway, what
What are they actually called? Limp Triscuits?
Oh my!
Oh man.
The puns are endless on here.
Yeah, we love them. We
It's
love them.
it's pandemonium over here.
Oh my god!
It's a pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh my
Colin's
goodness.
getting it.
No.
All right.
Oh,
Maybe cut that out. I don't know. Keep it.
that was good. I think it'll make the people laugh.
That's true.
But
We'll get some lighthearted, warm chuckles at least.
Oh man. But how have you been holding up in like the pandemic? What have you been doing to keep yourself busy?
Oh god!
This podcast, right? You know.
The podcast and like I started Twitch streaming on Twitch.
Mhm.
So I play some games here and there. I got quite the following on there actually, and got quite the cool community. I met some cool people on there that
Yeah,
support
That's
my
awesome.
stuff.
Get
So
it.
That's
I'll
awesome.
definitely listen to this episode, which is why I wanted to like have a bunch of people on here to like promote themselves, see what they're about, what you do, and get to know you podcast.
What games are
Yeah.
you streaming right now?
Oh god. Just about everything, but I mean recently I played with a bunch of like my friends on stream. I have like a Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I play with a bunch of the homies. Shout out to the homies. We've been playing Among Us. I don't know if you know what Among Us is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I played that
That's
a
a
little
chaotic
bit.
game.
I still have yet to try that, but I really want to. I've seen and heard it looks really cool.
It's really fun, but you have to have like you can play it like online with random people, which can be fun, but it's
not
more
the
fun with like
same.
a group of people over
Yeah,
like
I was playing with random people, and I feel like for the discussion parts where you're like typing in the chat, I feel
Yeah.
like you really have to have that like in person like experience for it to be fun. I guess it's like
yeah, it's more chaotic.
yeah,
Like I've never played the game, but this party game that I have played that I think is pretty similar to it is called Secret Hitler, where essentially like everyone
Secret
gets these
Hitler.
envelopes and like that determines like if you're a I'm trying. It's like it's fascists versus whatever the blue side was. I think they call them liberals or something like that. But and essentially like whoever gets drawn Hitler has to keep their identity a secret, and so the whole goal of it is to not be caught. Or the whole point of Hitler is he wants to become chancellor, so he can take over Germany and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So everyone else is essentially trying to figure out who Hitler is, who the fascists are, and the liberals are trying to not get Hitler to either take over all of Nazi or the fascists to win. So it's this really like mind fucking game where you're just trying really hard to play both sides, and like I guess I was
Oh,
the
God.
master because I just stopped talking and I put on a poker face and they couldn't tell which side I was on, and then so they're like, oh, we'll just give it to Ryan, he's not Hitler. Wrong.
Let's hope nobody like fast forwards to this point in the podcast and they see like
They say
Ozonic
Ryan's
and they're
Hitler,
like
yeah.
and they're like, so we got Hitler and liberals and stuff, and it's like, oh wait, what kind of podcast is this?
Yeah, all the Trump supporters and Proud Boys are going to be coming in here. They're going to be lighting it up.
Oh my
no,
god.
no. Not on my podcast.
No, but nope.
That's another whole other episode. We're gonna talk about that one.
Yep. No, we could save that for another time, but
I don't know where to go from that. But yeah, it's a fun the game like Among Us. It's it's fun, but it's chaotic at the same time. But yeah, I've been playing that. I've been playing some like story games, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing almost done with The Last of Us 2,
Oh,
which
yep.
is chaotic.
Colin
also,
actually streamed that whole game on Twitch.
Yes. I just finished that about a month ago. I won't spoil anything for you if you
yeah,
haven't
I'm
finished it yet.
I think I might stream it tonight. I'm basically at the end of it, I think.
Really? Okay. Man, it's good. It's good. That's all I will say. I will not, because I don't want to spoil anything. But it's really intense, as
Okay,
you
great.
know.
It's already intense enough, but
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh my gosh, but I thought it was a really well done game. It got a lot of I don't know. It got a lot of hate
yeah,
because of a
for
lot of things, and
I mean, I
obviously
get
because
it,
of
like some of the hate, but also it's just like the storyline was still kind of good. Like I get it.
yeah, it's solid. Yeah, and I like that it makes you like kind of like sympathetic with the enemy in a really weird way. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of like realize you're like, oh, uh, this characters that you initially just don't like for certain reasons. I won't spoil just in case
Yeah.
people listening haven't played
Yeah.
it. But just characters that you think you really don't like. You hear their backstory, you see what happens, and you're like, oh, wow, okay.
Makes
So
sense.
I still don't really like them, but I understand. I totally understand now.
That's good story writing, honestly.
I think
So
the cool
it's
thing
neat.
though about like like the villain, right, is I'd say like playing the villain's probably gonna be the most thing you can do, whether it's a video game, a movie, or a TV show, because they have, as weird as it is to say, I think a lot of us connect with more villains than we do heroes. Like
Yeah.
we're all subject to just being that one traumatic experience away from to going that route and becoming one of those villains.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so,
I know what you mean.
because there's so much going on in today's day and age in general, but like that influence is always there. And so like when you start this one show I've been watching on Netflix, if you guys are familiar, is called Cobra Kai. That continuation of the Karate Kid, like 34 years later. Like
I haven't seen it, but I know what you're
you start
talking about.
really
Yeah.
like you're like, wow, you're really sympathetic to the the original bully and stuff, because anything can happen in your life that can take you down that wrong path. And even the good guy, sometimes goes down that same path and has to find their way back again. Like, I think it's those kinds of stories that, really set who we are.
Yep.
Stuff, but
agreed.
On that note, I've been playing Mario 64, and that story is pretty traumatic.
Yeah,
I gotta say. Peach gets taken. Can you believe it?
When you play as Luigi, man, that's where things really get. I'm just things
Spoilers,
really get
dude.
hairy.
Spoilers.
I'm joking. You never play as Luigi. It never happens. I'm kidding.
It never happens though.
Or no, it doesn't.
Anyways, yeah, that's what I've been playing.
One of my music
Great game,
students,
though.
he does speed runs of Super Mario 64.
Godspeed to that guy.
Yeah. I could never speed.
I like to enjoy my games.
Seriously.
Not speedrun, thank you.
Like, man, if there's one game I've ever just like wanted to stream that I've always enjoyed playing, it's Dark Souls series. Like,
yeah.
my brother and I would just like get in there, like we were playing like Dark Souls 3, and we like learned about the ultra great swords. There's this one called the Fume, and it has a really long reach, so we'd go PvP people and we just stab them from like 7-8 feet away, and they'd get so mad at us. We just they try to invade us and take us down, and we're just like both Fume great sword in the sky. It looks like he's getting scissored. Like,
Oh, God.
Holy crap.
But man, that game is so fun to watch, like streaming wise, because like you're essentially watching that game for the streamer to essentially die, and you're like, yeah, you fucking suck, I knew it.
I knew it.
Oh man.
Games are just so good.
They are. So like, what's like your all-time favorite game?
I don't know.
On the spot.
Right here, right now.
I mean, oh my god. I mean, I've always loved like the Mario games. Like I've always loved any Mario game from like when I played on like the Wii and like my DS. I don't know, because I have like pretty much all I think like all the systems now almost.
Yeah.
Oh god, I don't. It's a tough question.
I mean, that's a
oh
good
no, my
question.
headphone fell out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mario in
Anyway,
general Mario in general is just a good choice. Like,
I could not pick a Mario like game from the franchise. That's impossible. I love all of them pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I love the Last of Us series. It's like a series I love.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like for old school purposes, I do like the Simpsons hit and run game.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That game was so funny. I love it.
I still have it on my PS2.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like,
Do you like any
Never-
horror games at all?
I don't know what ones I've played. I do like horror games, but I forget which ones I've like actually played that are
Mhm.
considered horror games.
Gotcha.
She's from Boston. It's horror.
Horror.
game.
I don't really have the accent though. It's only like on certain words, I guess I say. That's funny.
You cabbage.
It's a weird accent.
It is. Like, I think for me, like the first franchise I like really immensely fell in love with was Pokemon. Like, I was like 5.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like 1998 Game Boy
Absolutely.
Color, fresh off of the map, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, you know, there was that glitch in the originals where you would like talk to the guy in Viridian City. Yeah, on the 6th item in your slot, go fly to Cinnabar, surf up and down the coast for Missing No. You know.
Yep. Get the rare candies.
Yeah.
By the Nugget Bridge.
Yes. Yeah, it was so crazy, man.
So insane.
Fun fact, like, so like the very first Pokemon ever made was actually Rhydon. And so that's why a lot of the human-shaped Pokemon in that first game are all shaped like Rhydon, because they built the first
Whoa.
pixel things based off of it.
I actually did not know that.
He's not
That's
the first
wild.
in the decks, but he was the first ever designed.
It's the first
Yep.
made. Wow.
Hmm.
It wasn't Pikachu.
Pikachu.
We all had that family member that always called every Pokemon Pikachu.
Yep.
You show them a Charmander, they're like, "Oh, it's a Pikachu."
And
It's
they're,
a
like,
big-
they're like, oh, those kids, they
yeah.
play Pokemon.
Oh, my dad
Pokemon.
says my dad still says
Oh,
Pokemon. Nice.
God.
Yeah.
Or Pokemon. you know?
Pokemon. Pokemans.
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Pokemon. Oh.
Fucking scrubs, am I right?
Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
Nice.
I've been going for a minute. It's been like an hour and 40.
almost
I
2
know,
hours.
Yeah,
it kinda
dang.
flew by.
I hope, yeah, like I don't know if you had a set like kind of deadline that we should wrap up, but
we're just
we're-
feeding you with rich content.
yeah,
No, I love
rich.
it.
We're enriching your soul.
And for you fans out there, if you want more enrichment, you can see Ozonic's music through our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify.
And we also have a website at www.ozonicband.com
Hell yeah. Go check them out.
where
Yeah,
you can
dope
keep
music.
up with all the Ozonic news.
It's like a movie.
And then I wish I could do that really the really fast like legal speak that they do at the end where it's like must be 21 or qualified.
yeah.
Blah, 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 blah,
Ozonic
blah,
is not
blah.
responsible for any heart palpitations, heart attacks, or blindness, deafness, diarrhea.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
You could also go the other route where it's like, this wacky jazzy Jeff on RXKWY. We got Ozonic on the line.
Go ahead and say hello, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, we're Ozonic. We like Fritos. Quote of the night: we're Ozonic. We like Fritos.
And granola.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Granola Ranch.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you title these podcasts, but
Yeah.
if you could pull a quote from this, it should definitely be something granola metal related.
I will. Don't worry. Granola
Ozonic
Yeah.
granola metal band.
Trusty granola metal straight out of the heart of Colorado.
People will pick on that. Like, what the hell is granola metal?
I still to this day don't really know, man.
There are like some interesting like people here in Colorado. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
We've had so many like weird people like show up to like shows and stuff, and they'll like there's always one guy who's so belligerently drunk, like you don't know what to expect. Like,
Yeah.
I was playing this one show. I think it's Freddy's on Powers and stuff. Like we were playing. This dude got so drunk, we were just jamming and stuff, and he literally like lost his balance, ate shit into our music equipment. And like like it was bad. Like he like totally fell all over like our bass player, and like he like moved my kick drum on me and stuff, and then like our bass player like says some snarky comment to him, and the whole family that the guy's with like hears it, and it almost turns into an entire bar brawl of like like 8 people versus our bassist.
Just to clarify too, when he's saying R, he's not talking about Ozonic.
Not Ozonic. Not Ozonic.
We've never been graced with that kind of an unpleasant experience.
No, we've actually had some pretty tame audience members on our end.
If anything, just a lot of drunk dudes hit on my girlfriend, and that's really obnoxious.
Oh my god, we've almost had to
So-
walk on stage just to kick this dude's ass.
Oh yeah, man. There have been a couple situations just like super just unacceptable. So I've even I've like prefaced a few shows with just like just be good to people,
Just be
okay?
good.
Yeah.
Be good to
Kind.
people. Let people listen to the
hard.
music, man. Stop. Yeah. But
Yeah,
Well,
that's a loaded podcast. I don't know what else to even add.
yeah, unless there's
Totally.
some other questions or
I
sizzlers you want to
pretty
hit us
much
with.
covered everything. Unless you want to like have any like last words, anything you want to like promote. what
The
you-
fortune teller was right. Ah. That was me falling off a cliff. After saying the fortune teller. Sorry. I was just crickets.
I predict this podcast is going to go great. We're going to get a lot of viewers. We're gonna rock the house. And if you guys
Hell
are loving,
yeah.
you guys are loving the Ozonic vibe, once again, please check us out on social media. Hit us up and all that. We love to talk with you guys. Maybe catch us on some streams and stuff. I don't know. We love engaging with you guys. So
Exactly.
let us know what you think, how we sound. Honestly, we'd love your guys' feedback.
Yeah, feedback is always appreciated, man.
If you know what we sound like, for the love of God, please tell us, because we don't know.
Hell yeah. I have
Yeah,
a community of people that will definitely probably let you know.
Excellent.
cool. Yeah, ozonicband.com, and
Go
that's
check it out.
Yep.
You better.
Don't forget the
else.
www dot.
Sean's done a great job.
I'm
on the
kidding.
website.
Yeah. Sean is
I
actually the
built
one who
website. I'm pretty proud of it.
he pretty much put the whole thing together.
You can say
Hell
So
yeah.
Also, I don't want to get like too political, but vote, please.
yeah.
No,
No,
be
absolutely
political,
vote.
but
No
please.
matter who, no matter what side you're on, vote because it's really important.
Yeah.
It's
So-
very, very, very important.
Yes.
If you're gonna have an opinion about politics, the least you can do is fucking vote. Am I right?
Amen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on that note, we're out of here.
We need music to like play us off like Looney Tunes.
That's awful.
Maybe we could get Crazy Frog's Axel F
Oh no.
You're the Crazy Frog.
This has been the most chaotic episode, I think.
Oh
I
man,
love
No, it's good.
chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
it. Chaotic good.
But,
Kidding.
on another note, yeah, it was nice actually like getting to chat with you after being friends on Instagram for years now.
Years.
Yeah,
For sure.
cool.
Glad you hit me up for those because it's nice to get to know the rest of you too. Y'all are
Thank you.
funny as hell.
Oh yes, glad to hear it. Thank you.
But you're talented and funny.
I'm just,
have that.
I just,
Oh, now you're just buttering us.
I'm just like, I'm glad that we hit like the funny mark and didn't cross into like
Cringe.
obnoxious cringe.
Oh god,
territory.
yeah, no, I felt pretty good about I
My
felt pretty good about our
Alexa!
performance.
5 stars.
5 stars.
Yes, 5 stars. Please.
Yes, please Yelp review us too. We feed off the Yelp actually.
I eat Yelp for breakfast.
Yelp flakes.
Ew.
Yelp.
My-
I don't even know what
My
that
breakfast
is.
consists of Yelp reviews in the morning to really get my narcissism going.
Friggin' crap. But anyway, thank you so much for hosting us, and
Yeah,
you're dope.
you're dope. Y'all are dope.
Thank
Aw,
you.
The dope is mutual. But we really do got the good stuff.
No, for sure.
Dope is mutual. That could be what we call the podcast.
That's a great title.
Right at the
Ozonic,
end,
where the dope is.
Yeah, this sport hits 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
Man, what
man.
are we, the Joe Rogan experience? Come on.
I'm just gonna cut half of this podcast, so it's like an hour. No.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, definitely do what you need to. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'll keep the funny parts in though. Most of it. I'll be
Okay.
in, don't worry.
Yeah.
Just like the cutouts. Take those out.
Yeah, for sure.
But we're gonna cut it here, and
Okay.
thanks for hanging.
Absolutely. Have a
Thanks.
wonderful evening and a wonderful rest of 2020.
Yeah.
I'll probably
Yeah, of course.
by your Twitch stream if you end up streaming. So
Oh god, that's chaotic. But yeah, sure, come over.
Yeah, I want to see your reaction to the ending if you end up beating the game tonight. So
Yeah, I'll drop a. I guess I'll send Sean the my link to Twitch.
yeah. Please
Yeah.
do. That's awesome.
Slide into his
Okay.
DMs, that's just how it goes.
In the DMs, man.
But yeah, I gotta end this before
Alright.
I.
For sure. Okay.
Bye,
Have a great night. Bye bye.
Bye.